Polynomial and rational inequalities. Let's solve by graphing first. On the left, I have a polynomial. F of x equals 2x cubed minus 12x squared plus 18x. So solving f of x equals 0 just means I need to read where are the x-intercepts. So I have an x-intercept here and an x-intercept here. So I have x equals 0 and 3. Solving the inequality, f of x is less than 0. Now strictly less than 0 matters here. So I just need to look at where is the graph below the x-axis. So below the x-axis is from negative infinity until we cross the x-axis. But because it's strictly less than 0, I use a parenthesis around 0. So there's a whole interval from negative infinity to 0 where the graph is below the x-axis. Now f of x strictly greater than 0. Well, we're just looking for where is the graph above the x-axis. So we can see here that the graph is above the x-axis from 0, this is all positive here, until 3, that's where it equals 0, and then to the right of 3, it's still above 0. So in interval notation, it's 0 to infinity excluding 3 because we have strictly greater than 0. So in interval notation, it's 0 to 3 union 3 to infinity. All of those with parentheses for different reasons. Infinity because we always use the parenthesis, but 0 and 3 because we have a strictly greater than symbol. Now let's look at the rational function on the right, and the graph is shown and some points are labeled and the vertical asymptote is labeled, and we also have, it looks like y equals 1 is the horizontal asymptote. So solving this, again, for f of x equals 0, we are just looking for x-intercepts. So that's at 2. So we have x equals 2. Now solving for f of x less than or equal to 0, we just want to look and see where is the graph below the x-axis or where is it on the x-axis. So that just means we have a negative part of the right branch below the x-axis here up until we hit the x-axis at 2. So from negative 3 with a parenthesis because x cannot be equal to negative 3 until 2 with a bracket because we have the equal bar. X equals 2 is a 0 of the rational function. And finally, f of x greater than or equal to 0. So we have a couple of pieces to define here again because, well, several pieces actually. Right here we have a little bit above 0 and then we go on to infinity. So from 2 to infinity, and then here on the left, this left branch here, it's really the whole branch except for that excluded value, that hole right there. So as we write this in interval notation, we would start at negative infinity and go all the way up to negative 5. Now this is greater than 0, but we can't use a bracket because it's an excluded value. So I use a parenthesis there. So I jump over negative 5 with that union symbol. And then I go to negative 3 because that's a vertical asymptote, and I use another parenthesis because it's an excluded value of the function. And then I don't come back up above the x-axis until I hit 2 again, and because there's an equal bar, I will put a bracket around 2 and then go on forever to infinity.